Hey guys, welcome back to another flashlight review, and today we're going to be looking at the Tunenge YC8003, and this is a request from one of my subscribers. So I wasn't a huge fan of these flat style flashlights in the past, but I'm starting to come around to them as of late. I can see the utility of them for some people, as they are fantastic all-rounder EDC lights, especially for people who don't like carrying around a usual tube flashlight, which can take up more room. You've got to worry about that battery as well. You've got to charge it up and make sure that it's charged at the right voltage as well. Let's have a look at what you get in the box. Okay, so this is the box that the YC8003 comes in. Has some specifications there on the back if you want to pause the video and take a look. Just some more specifications there on the side as well. 1000 lumens, and does come with a USB-C charging cable, a manual, but that's pretty much it. All right, so I've just got a bit of a size comparison here between the YC8003 with the Olight Arc Field Pro and the Workhorse HD01, and you can see here, I mean, the 8003 is the largest of all three. I mean, it's just marginally larger than the Olight, okay, but it is a little bit flatter than the rest of them as well. So yeah, depth-wise, but yeah, it is the larger version. UV, it's got a normal flashlight and this floodlight here, so there's no laser on this version. There is another version of it though, which I'll link in the description, that does come with a laser if you want that instead. Okay, so here is a little close-up of the YC8003, and the quality, in my opinion, is on par with all these other flat-style flashlights in this price range. And I do like that the anodizing is this matte black finish. It's a little grippy as well. It's definitely not slippery. It's grippier than my Olight Arc Field Pro. You've got 4 buttons on it, so you got 3 here in the front in order to activate the UV spotlight and the floodlight mode. And on the side of the head, there is a button here for a 120 decibel buzzer, and basically just hold it down, and then you to unlock it, and then you press it to activate that buzzer. And yeah, extremely loud, headache inducing. I don't know what else you could call it, but yeah, it's definitely going to attract some attention. The openings of the buzzer as well are directed in a 180-degree fashion. So you've got an opening here on the side, an opening there on the back, an opening here on the side. So if you were to face it in that direction, but it still kind of comes back at you because it's just so loud, but it is more focused towards the front of you if you're holding it in the right direction. The floodlight here in the front has a plastic diffuser and also has a battery indicator at the top. Okay, these 4 lights, it's in standby at the moment, but they will turn off. You've got a very strong clip here as well on the back, which I'm always a fan of. I don't like when companies use really weak clips and you get snagged on something and just either pulls the clip off or bends it. You're not going to have that issue with this clip. And you also get a very strong magnet in the base, so there's no issue with it attaching to the side of a desk or above, that kind of thing. So you can use it as a work light as well. On the side of the light here, you can see there is a USB-C port, so onboard charging makes it very convenient. You don't have to worry about taking out the battery as well. It's an inbuilt battery, and it's rated at 1000 milliamp hours. On the head, you can see there is 2 LEDs. So on the left here, you've got the Samsung LH351D. It's the non-high CRI version, by the way. And on the right, you've got the SST08UV. Now, this is a genuine 365 nanometer UV LED, which is, in my opinion, superior to that standard 395 nanometer LED, which produces way too much visible light. And you can also see that they've included a filter there. So that actually filters out any visible light produced by the LED. You don't get that there on the Olight Arc Field Pro. So yeah, I think that it's a really good addition. All right, so I'm going to go through the UI for you now, and basically you just press and hold down on each button to enter whichever lighting mode you want. So under UV, this UV mode, just press and hold, and you can see that UV light turns on. Press and hold to turn off. Now there's an interesting feature here where if you press it on and then just press once to turn it off, light goes into that standby mode. Okay, so you can see there the 4 LEDs are active, which means that you don't need to press and hold to turn on again. All you have to do is just press once to turn on and off, like that. And not only that, the buzzer is also active while this standby mode is switched on, and it will turn off after 5 minutes unless you press and hold to turn it off manually. So the second mode here is the general lighting mode to activate the other LED in the head. So press and hold to turn on, and all you do is just single press to cycle modes. Okay, and there's high, medium, low, eco at the moment. There's also a couple of other modes in there. So you've got an SOS mode and also a strobe mode, and then it just basically cycles through that again. So there is one button here on the bottom. This activates the flood or color mode. Okay, so at the moment, just remember the last mode I had it on, which is red. Again, just keep pressing that button to go through the different color modes. You've got flashy red. You've got another UV mode. You've got a warm white light, and then it just cycles again. Press and hold to turn off. I've already shown you how to use the buzzer, so I won't demonstrate again in order to just save my ears. But it's also important to mention that there are 2 other buzzer modes in the UI, which allow you to also activate the buzzer without being in standby mode. So one of the modes just allows you to always activate it by pressing and holding, regardless of the situation you're in, whether it's in standby or not. And the other one, I think you press it, and the other buzzer mode, you just press it once and it will buzz 4 times. I've just kept it on the default mode there, where you need to press and hold for 0.5 seconds to unlock the buzzer, and then press and hold to activate it. Another cool thing to keep in mind is that you can actually activate all 3 lights at the same time. Okay, I'm not sure why you'd want to do this, but the option is available. Okay, so I ran a bunch of ceiling bounce tests here, and I'll start off with the highest mode really, which is 800 lumens. So the light holds 100% for 2 minutes before stepping down to just under 40% after the 2-minute mark. You can see it just holds that 40%-ish output all the way until about the 8-minute mark, where it steps down again very slightly to about 30%. So here's another ceiling bounce test on the medium mode, and you can see the light holds 100%, so 400 lumens just past the 2-minute mark, at which point it steps down to just over 40%. And you can see pretty much holds that output all the way to the end of the test, where I finished it at 16 minutes. Final ceiling bounce test, I ran this on the low mode, which is 100 lumens, and basically maintained that output for the entire duration of the test. Ended it at 18 minutes. Here are a bunch of tests I ran with my Opal Lightmaster Pro, and you can see on the high mode, I measured 119 meters of throw, which is pretty respectable given how small that TIR reflector is in there. CRI range from 66 to 70. So it's definitely not the high CRI version of that LH351D. And CCT range from 5,500 to 6,000, increasing as you step up the output. The spot mode in the YC8003 has a decent amount of throw for such a small TIR light, and you do get lots of flood as well in the high modes. I do also like the fact that there is a warm floodlight mode in there, which I think I'm going to be using quite often, especially the red light mode. So, some considerations to be aware of. Now, in the UI, there's that strobe and SOS mode in there. I'm not a fan of that being included in the main lighting modes. I found that pretty annoying, and I think it would be better separated out and perhaps activated with the triple press. I also think it would have been nice to have some lower modes on the flood mode rather than full power all the time. And yeah, that secondary UV mode, wondering why they put that in there, given that there's already a dedicated UV light there in the front. Not a deal breaker, but again, something to be aware of. The second consideration is, as you can see in the ceiling bounce test, these step downs were pretty conservative. And I wonder if they did that in order just to preserve the battery life on this flashlight, because I really think that it could have been pushed further. I mean, you can turn it off and reactivate that high mode again if you need another 2 minutes of runtime, though, which leads me to the final consideration, and that is that the YC8003 only has a 1000 milliamp hour battery. It's a non-replaceable battery, but yet it's a similar size, in fact, larger than some of my other flat style flashlights. Overall, the YC8003 is a competitively priced newcomer to the flat style flashlight genre, and it comes with various features, including that whistle, that 365 nanometer UV mode, which are both quite rare in most flashlights out there. I wish that this light had a larger battery, but if you're not planning on taking it out on longer trips, you should be fine, especially if you use those lower modes. And I think it'd make a nice gift for someone who wants an easy to use all-in-one EDC flashlight. So if you're interested, I've put a link in the description to the YC8003 and also the laser version of this light as well, and you'll be able to get a discount through that link. If you have questions as well, go ahead and ask them down below in the comments and I'll get back to you. And yeah, if you found the video helpful or enjoyable, do me a big favor and click the like button. It helps me to get the video out to more people. It doesn't cost you a cent. And if you want to see more flashlight reviews and keep up to date with the latest news, make sure you subscribe.
YC8003 here, and this is the spot beam on the high modes, 800 lumens, pretty large hotspot, just formed by that TIR lens, and there's tons of spill as well. Spill probably goes off about 180, 160, 180 degree angle, somewhere in between that. So we'll just start stepping down the light into the other modes. So medium, low, you've got an eco mode, which you can't really see here in camera. There is an SOS mode, you've got a strobe mode as well. And yeah, that's just the normal mode. Now I'm going to go up so you can see the beam profile a little bit better, and also activate some other modes that you can check out as well. Just mainly the flood mode. And yeah, this is great as a walking light, general purpose flashlight. It's not really getting to those trees down the back, but for anything up kind of medium range, it's dealing with pretty well. And the larger hotspot as well makes it quite practical. You know, you just have a larger area of visibility, and yeah, decent throw considering just how small the light is. You just step down, you can see those other modes again from a longer distance. So that's the highest mode, medium, low, eco. Okay, I'll turn that off. Now I'm just going to turn on this side mode here. So that's the red mode, as you can see there, and that's the UV mode. I don't know why they've got this one in here, but it is a side light UV mode. Now this is the warm light, warm floodlight, and I'll tell you what, this is really effective. It's so bright as well. And yeah, I mean, for short range use, it's pretty good. Yep, pretty decent. And you know, there's a white version, white light as well here, so just switched over to the white light. And I think this is actually a little bit brighter. The white light just has better illumination overall, but doesn't look as nice in my opinion as the warmer light. Okay, and this is red mode, all just yeah, decent for just looking around, I guess, close to you. But other than that, it doesn't go anywhere near the distance to the warmer and cool floodlight. And then yeah, it goes back to that flashy color again. Okay, YC8003, and I'll just cycle through the different modes, but that's basically the high mode. Tons of light. It doesn't reach all the way down to the end. Yeah, it does tint the buildings, but you can't really see too much down the end, as you can tell. But lots of spill and a pretty large hotspot in the center. Second press, so now we're on the medium mode. Again, pretty good for walking, more than enough light. Low. Okay, now we're kind of on the point where it's, yeah, just enough, but you probably want to step it up a notch. And of course eco, which isn't really see what's going on there, but that's more of a close up. And yeah, I mean 800 lumens, that's certainly enough.